All right, hello. I think everything is working. Yeah, looks like it's pretty good. All right, this is our weekly update video for Ambedo, our game, and here to discuss our weekly goals and how it's going so far. I remember last week for our weekly goals, we had mentioned that we wanted to start worrying about more assets and things like sound, another enemy. But one of the big things was to have a layout, almost a blueprint of the map. And if you see here, this is something that Jake prepared. It's basically the idea will be running with having a layout of the map, and nothing here is exactly the way it's gonna be, but it just gives a general idea of what we're gonna want. All these barriers and lines, kind of the blocks, are different scenes, and in between there's going to be scene transitions. That's something that Jake showed off last week in the other video, and he's still working through to try to figure out. I think Nico has posted his weekly goals and mentioned that he wants to start working on a flying enemy, because I knew we had mentioned something like that, something basic, like as soon as our character, oh god, what was her name, Sybil, as soon as she gets close enough kind of into the aggro range, that it just fly directly towards her, taking her out, kind of like the slime does, that I'll show in a little bit. And health upgrades, maybe letting her take a few more hits. We're still discussing to figure out what the special upgrade will be, but I know we want to work on a character state, specifically if she takes enough damage, she'll be in an anger kind of state, and I'm assuming at that point she'll be able to break through barriers and maybe do more damage. But we'll see. And then ultimately reaching the goal over here, a boss. I'm not sure exactly what the boss will be, or if it'll just be a room with both flying enemies and the slime enemies we have implemented right now. So this is the little blueprint that we're going to be working off of for now. As of the game and what it looks like right now, it's pretty much the same. This intro screen background is made by Robert, and the sounds that you hear is found by me. You can currently click into it and play, and the slime works. I'm not sure if Jake showed it off last week, but we can shoot it and take it out. But alternatively, of course, when this kind of shows off the aggro range, there's a certain I just pointed with my finger, you can't see my finger. Well, there's an aggro range, and you'll see down here a console pop up that says I'm awake or I'm asleep whenever Sybil is within range or not. And when it is awake, it'll kind of just idle animation, but as we get closer, it'll actually try to jump at and attack Sybil. And sometimes it doesn't want to work. But when it does, Sybil plays her death animation and actually dies. And we can click to go back to the intro screen. And I thought that was pretty cool, because it actually shows, as soon as we get our health UI working and giving more health to Sybil, she'll be able to take more of those hits from both kinds of enemies, and ultimately have the health upgrades to help her take out the rest. And that's pretty much it. Discussing next week's goals, we want to continue on building the second enemy, more background placement, which reminds me, I'm pretty sure this was Robert's job, or his work, sorry, because he made this background a while ago when we started, but it looks like he's also made a snow demo, and this is probably another background we're going to be using for the game. And I think it's really nice. I think he did a good job of the trees, but we'll be implementing that too. So that's something else that's been added this week. And going along with next week, Jake will continue with the camera transitions. I'll probably continue finding some audio things for the slime and more of the enemies. We'll discuss more about actually building out this planned blueprint. And yes, continue working through the game. Hopefully we'll have something decent enough by the end of the semester. Thank you, Professor, and goodbye.